Welcome to the Business Finance Bulletin, episode 114. Welcome again to this week's Business Finance Bulletin. With me, Rob Warlow from Business Loan Services. In this week's bulletin, a look at issues affecting UK SMEs, the British Business Bank, more support being passed on to lenders to support growing small businesses. And are you a business based in the Greater Manchester area? Well, I have news of a new fund designed to help boost exports. And on my business finance tip of the week, a chat with MD of Thornbury Collections, Steve White, with some tips on late payment and also the worst late payment excuse he's ever come across. Let's start this week's bulletin by taking a look at the latest survey from the Federation of Small Business. Every quarter they do a survey amongst their members to find out what are the key issues facing UK SMEs. Well, perhaps not surprisingly, the theme coming out of the Q1 2016 survey is that of falling business confidence. Across all regions in the UK, SMEs are reporting that they are not as confident as they previously have been. And in fact, 34% of those businesses surveyed said that looking over the next 3 months, they are expecting business performance to decline. So that's in terms of falling sales and profits. So it's not very positive. Also, investment plans, which is really where growth comes from in the economy, even that's starting to cool off. Only 18% of businesses surveyed said that they were planning any significant capital investment over the next 12 months. And that's compared to 25% a year ago. So confidence levels there are dipping as well. Job creation is falling. So there's a lot of things that are bothering small businesses. And the reasons, well, we've mentioned them before. Introduction of the national living wage, auto-enrolment, obviously the forthcoming EU referendum, global confidence generally, all of this is dragging business confidence down. But there is a little bit of a glimmer of hope, particularly on the finance side. Of those businesses surveyed, 14% of them said they have applied for finance in the last 3 months, and the success rate was that 63% of them got a yes. And that's up from 45% in 2012. So you can see the success rate is growing, which is good news. And remember my mantra, don't assume you're going to get a no. And those members who have applied for finance are clearly realising that they are getting what they want. One interesting stat is the use of alternative finance and crowdfunding. Now 9% of them have said they have applied for finance through alternative route, such as peer-to-peer and crowdfunding. So good news there that businesses are beginning to diversify their funding base. So a mixture of good news and bad news there. How the economy is going to fare over the next 12 months or so will clearly be dictated by what happens in June 2016 with the EU referendum. But for you guys here watching and listening to this, heads down, keep going at it, and I know we will all be successful if we know exactly where we want to be and how we're going to get there. Good news for UK small business owners on the hunt for alternative sources of finance, in that the British Business Bank has announced that it has lent £5 million to merchant cash advance provider Liberius for them to on-lend to UK small businesses. Now, the British Business Bank is the umbrella organisation on behalf of the government which holds all of the government finance schemes. And part of those, one of those schemes is the Enable programme, whereby the British Business Bank advance funds to alternative lenders and smaller lenders for them to on-lend to UK small businesses. Liberius, as I mentioned, is a merchant cash advance provider, and it's a company that will provide working capital facilities to businesses that have a regular stream of credit card and debit card receipts. So essentially, they will advance a loan based on future credit card repayments. Liberius, since they started, have lent about £100 million, and in 2016 they're looking to lend £50 million. Obviously part of that coming from this new facility from the British Business Bank. Their average loan size is about £15,000, but you can apply for an amount typically from £4,000 up to £300,000, and the repayment period on average is about 7 to 8 months. So a really flexible facility and really good if you are a regular recipient of credit card payments. If you want to know more, you can just check out the Liberius website, which is liberius.co.uk. That's Liberis. Or you can just get in touch with us and we'll gladly put you in touch with them. Just drop us an email, info@businessloanservices.co.uk. So good news for alternative funding provider Liberius there, and well done to them. Good news for businesses that are based in the Greater Manchester area, particularly those who are exporting or have ambitions to export. And the news is that there has now been a fund created to help stimulate exports. The Greater Manchester Export Fund has a total pot of £9.5 million to support the export sector. Now the fund is broken down into two areas. First of all, 2.5 million of it is for debt funding. So you can go along and get a loan for working capital or a purchase of assets. You can apply for loans up to £500,000, and that element of the fund is being managed by Business Finance Solutions. If you want to know more, just go along to their website, businessfinancesolutions.org.uk. The other part of the fund, totaling £7 million, is managed by the Business Growth Hub. There it's a grant, and you can get up to 20% of a project cost in the form of a grant. So again, if you want to know more, just go along to their website, businessgrowthhub.com. So a really great fund for businesses in the Greater Manchester area. So if you are exporting or have plans to do it and you're based in that area, go along to those websites and find out more to see how you can access that money. My business finance tip of the week is a chat that I had with Steve White, who's the managing director of Thornbury Collections, a debt collection company. And I had a chat with Steve actually in his car following a meeting that we were having. And I asked Steve to share with us the weirdest excuse he's had for late payments, and also just to share some general late payment tips. So let's go to that interview now.
So some of the best excuses I've ever had? Well, there's been a couple, but I think my absolute favourite has to be the rabbit has eaten my bank dongle, so I'm unable to make the bank transfer.
Right.
And that's an absolute genuine one, and actually it's a friend of mine as well. So it's absolutely true. So they are out there. So when you hear the excuses, just remember they could be true. But more importantly, think about the time of year we are. So we're approaching Easter now. So make sure your accountant isn't off skiing with your budgie, who's the signatory in your bank account. Make sure you're thinking ahead of time to make sure those payments get in nice and early. So take action nice and early for the 30-day invoice that expires over the Easter period.
Right, okay. What about on invoicing, on the actual invoice we send out ourselves? Anything that we can be doing just to improve time of the receipt of payment?
I always say that every invoice should have 16 key points on the invoice. If you want more information about that, please let me know and I'll send out a template to you.
Okay, great. Thanks for that, Steve. And late payment generally, do you think it's on the rise? Are you seeing more and more referrals coming to you of people trying to claim debts?
The late payment epidemic is continuing. There's no doubt about it. The Chartered Institute of Credit Management do a infographic every month of different aspects of payments and stuff, and generally the trend is still downwards. But however, certain areas are getting better. But the best thing you can do is credit check your client first.
Excellent. Good stuff. Thanks very much, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Well, there we are. So the major tip there is don't let your rabbit near your dongle. I better stop there, otherwise this is going to be in danger of turning into a carry-on film. Well, thanks to Steve for those clips. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks very much, and I hope you enjoyed watching this bulletin. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like or a share on social media, and we also have the podcast version available on iTunes, SoundCloud and Stitcher. Just search for Business Finance Bulletin. Thanks very much for being with me. Look forward to being with you again next week. Have a great, successful and profitable week. Bye-bye now.